Oh, this is all going to get edited.
So this is how I was keeping track of what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Would not recommend, because as you can see...
It starts to get erased?
Yeah, it erases itself.
Wait, let me see what you have. Is that for the FC or FD? Or is it both? FC and
They're
FD.
split.
Wow,
When you own two, you have to split it up.
So let's see. Number 1, clean and... No, wait, that's number 2?
Listen, we're bad at math here.
So it starts off with number 2.
1 was erased.
Clean engine bay.
Yeah.
Is that now done? I mean, that looks pretty clean. Hey, I am good at cleaning FC engine bays. Ask Adam. I cleaned his.
Oh, you were still looking at this. I don't know why.
Yeah, what the... Fix headliner.
Yeah.
Fix...
Hood.
Hood.
There's a crack in it.
Oh. Really?
In the paint. Yeah, the rear front. Yeah, I gotta get it resprayed. But that's why I got the Turbo 2 side skirts to get those resprayed too.
Huh.
Yep.
Are those the full side skirts?
Yeah, I got those from Steve.
Are they 2-piece?
Yeah, we traded. Yeah, they are 2-piece.
Oh.
Yeah. Fix in...
This is like hieroglyphs.
Can you guys read? No, I'm just kidding. Fix interior... Just go to 7.
Yeah, fix... Wait, that looks like rust at the end, right?
Fix interior surface rust.
Nice.
You know what? I fucking did that.
Oh.
Which is what all the black in the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's...
Camden's... What?
Condensed wiring.
Oh, condensed wiring.
That's not done yet. I'm working on that. Actually...
In what dash?
I'm a bad FC owner, so let's just... The carpet has to go in before the dash.
Oh.
Yeah.
Install carpet, install dash.
Yep.
Wait, what's the FD?
Coolant trains flush.
Oh.
Yep. Nothing exciting there.
That's not
I did all
exciting
the
at all.
stuff. Yeah, I threw all the stuff on I could.
This is such a cool garage.
I wish it was bigger. I'm actually pretty upset. Like, I'm pretty limited on what I can do here.
Yeah, but who else has, like, the 2 best color RX-7s? You have to have a white FC and you have to have a yellow FD. That's how it works. That's why I made the stickers that way.
That's what Initial D taught me, too.
Yeah, that's true. Are you going to do the Red Sun sticker?
So I reached out to Spinny Whoosh on this one. You might...
Spinny Whoosh?
Yeah, there's a floating thing. Spinny Whoosh is a company that builds stickers and decals for Miatas and FCs and cool stuff like that. And I actually reached out to him, and he made me ones that are magnetic cling.
Ooh.
So
you can throw them on for a show?
Yeah, I can be, Ryos-K whenever I want and then rip it off when I don't want to feel like a weeb. So, unlike Steve, who bought stickers, and he's constantly weeb.
You know what? But Steve's committed, and I appreciate that.
No, his car's awesome. He's doing a good job with it.
Yeah, I need to have Steve on the podcast at some point. He has a lot of interesting parts on his car. I think we could do a whole podcast of just the parts on his car.
Not even in his car, in his garage.
I know.
I went to his garage. It's like, look at this.
When did you go?
When we went to build the engine. I stopped by Steve's first.
Oh, okay.
Because he took my... You'll see I'm missing the moldings there too. He took my side skirts and moldings.
Okay.
And my rear guards, which is on his car too. And we swapped. I took his T2 side skirts.
Okay.
Which
are they different?
Yeah, I was running China.
I thought you were about to explode on me for not knowing that they were different.
No,
you paused for a second. I was like, oh.
No. I was running Shine side skirts and rear guards.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And he wanted a more aggressive look, and I wanted to go more back stock.
Yeah.
So it was a good trade. Glad we hooked up on that.
Yeah. You guys hooked up? That's real cute. So, Colten, welcome to the podcast.
Edit that out. So excited to be here, Zach. Thanks for having me.
Wow. Okay, this isn't morning. This isn't morning TV.
Probably edit that out.
First question: why are there footprints on your ceiling?
So I'm assuming. So again, I'm renting.
Oh yeah.
But previous owner probably had a bunch of. You see some hooks there. I'm assuming that they had shop lights ran throughout this garage, which I would also like to do. But since I'm not living, like I'm not staying here, it's just effort I don't want to put in.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So that's why we got Jerry Rig Light up there giving us light right now.
That's honestly, what brand is that?
So that's a Harbor Freight.
Is that Harbor Freight?
It's the best light you can buy.
I'll drink to that. Every time Harbor Freight is brought up, I'm drinking to that.
The lights over there too you can see the green LED there. They're Braun lights. Or not Braun, those are seats. Don't buy those. Those are Braun lights.
Is that Harbor Freight?
Yes. Drink to that. Yep. 2 of them too, so you got to take 2 drinks.
Whew!
But yeah, no, they make really good lights for the cost. Like the only other comparative one are Astro that are double the price.
Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Adam's, like, he brings like an ER room's light with him. Have you seen this light that he carries around? It's the brightest ever. It's super. Oh yeah, I'm still holding.
I was gonna.
I'm
call
still
you
holding your stock FD
I
shit
wasn't
now.
gonna call you out, but it's okay.
I like holding it. You can take it back though.
It's got a good weight.
It has really good weight to it. I didn't realize.
I'm probably gonna throw it back in and sell the Mazda Speed one.
Yeah, you should definitely. I'd be interested to hold both and see what is that one heavier?
That one's the one in that car. I'm pretty sure they took the weight out because that's the one I originally had in the FC. So I'm pretty sure they took the weight out, so it's not weighted at all.
Okay. But no, Adam has a giant movable light. That's the end of that story. I don't know why it was that important for me to finish that story, but...
No, it was a good story, though. I wish there was more
Thanks,
to it.
Man. I know. Me too. I started it not realizing how short it was. So, we already brought it up. Let's talk about the FD. Let's start with the FD. I know it's the newer baby. Yeah.
Man, all right. Let's start with
it. 8,000 miles.
Yes.
That's how many miles are on this FD. 8,000.
Put it in quotes though, because there is an asterisk, a disclaimer there, right?
Yeah, but
I mean, you can crawl under the car, you can crawl under the carpet, and it's phenomenal. It's flawless.
Yeah, I mean, we took a ride in it tonight. I told you this. It's the first rotary to feel like an actual car. Like
I'm not sure if that's like
no, it's just like
or like
like it fell to the point where like there was a slight rattle from whatever that was, but besides that, like it felt like I could daily drive this all the time. Like I was comfortable. Like it wasn't super loud. It wasn't in my face. I wasn't getting roasted by the firewall, which happens in my car.
Same in the white one, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it actually felt like. I don't want to say it. I'm going to say it and don't get offended.
Okay, I'll try not to.
It felt like a C5 Corvette.
Shit.
well, just not in power wise.
I mean, that's what I identify as with this, so it's okay. I park next to him, like we're all friends.
It was just like it felt like a car you bought off the showroom. My car feels like something I pieced together in my garage because I did.
I mean, we just do the best we can, really.
Mine is like, well, if I could sum up my RX-7 in a phrase, it would be, you tried your best.
Fortunate for you, that's most of the stories, so you're doing good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But how did you get this? We'll talk about the asterisk 8,000 miles, but it's really, I mean, it's 8,000 miles. Right?
Yeah, so sure, like, how did I get this? So...
Yeah. The cleanest FD I've ever seen.
I've been looking for a while, and it eventually got to the point where I was like fed up, and I was just gonna buy the next one that came up. And I have this thing where like fate kind of intervenes and makes my decision for me. And this one just popped up randomly on Facebook on a GTR Supra Exotic NXX page.
Okay.
And I reached out to the guy. I'm like, I'll take it. And he's like, for my asking him, like, no. So I shot him an offer of I think 23, or no, I shot him an offer for he wanted 25, which I still think would have been a good deal. But I shot him an offer for, I think I said like I'm around 22, and he's like, well, how about we meet in the middle of 22.5? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So at that point, I sent him $500 deposit. The next day, I called my bank. I wired him. I started the wire transfer. I called the shipping company. So I had this thing bought within like the first 5 minutes of him posting it. Like I didn't wait around. Like this was the car for me. Like I wanted a CYM, and then with all the history behind it and stuff. Yeah, I didn't care. So I bought it.
I mean, generally, we were talking about this tonight. I really thought you picked this up for like 30 to 35. I mean, with such low miles, so clean, so stock, black interior, no sunroof. Like this, I mean, it really is a unicorn car, at least to me.
Well, there's only 350 of these, in this color.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm just...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I'm not like blaming you for me not knowing that. It's just
there were
that's
only
crazy.
The competition yellow Mica, which is the full name, was only...
That's what that stands for.
Yep. We're just making a lot of connections tonight.
My mind is getting blown tonight.
But yeah, it was only released in '93, and only 350 of them were brought over from Japan.
In this color?
In this color.
Do you know how many with or without sunroofs? Do you know?
All R1s had no sunroofs.
Oh, right.
Yep.
So it's R1.
Yeah, it's an R1. Yep, all CYMs were R1.
Okay. So this is rare. This is...
Of the US Rx7s, this is the rarest color, yeah.
Let's say, 10% of them have been wrecked or scrapped. Let's just say. I mean, that's still down. That's 320 left? Maybe around 300 left?
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, you have to say, it's 25 years. There have to have been a couple that have been crashed,
This one?
Yeah. But, there have to be a couple that aren't on the road anymore, or parted out, whatever.
Oh, for sure.
So, it's probably under 300. Still running, driving, able to do what you do with this car.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
I never really looked at it that way, but yeah.
Really?
I think so, yeah. I don't know. I've always felt I always walk down to the garage, look at this, and I'm like, wow, I still can't believe I own this car.
Yeah.
But I never really looked at it in that light. There's probably less than 300 of this color on the road right now.
There's probably more people are going to watch this podcast than there are these cars available in the world.
Playing yourself up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
When it gets 20 views, I will be sad. But, no, that's insane to think about.
It is.
That I didn't realize production was that low for the CYM.
Yeah, so back then, I kind of think that Mazda went for the idea that we need to make more reds. Because, every RX-7 you see is almost red.
Every RX-7 is red.
Including yours.
Yes. And mine, Adam's is red. And Adam and I, we both agree, which I'm going to get Adam on the podcast. He will not do it.
No, he won't be in front of a camera.
I know.
You're going to have to, block out his face. Promise you'll blur his face. And
I'll do the voice changer like those gang movies, you know?
Shut up.
Oh, my God.
Don't let him see this. Adam, if you're watching.
Oh, yeah, no. Adam, go to bed. Adam, go to bed. I totally forgot where I was going. Oh, Adam has the red one and I have the red one. I always wanted a gunmetal gray one. That was
Those are gorgeous.
That's what I wanted, and I was a teenager. I wanted on Koning Rewind wheels. They're kind of...
The what?
Koning Rewinds.
Oh, Koning.
They're reps of something else.
I won't judge you too harshly.
But it's what you could put on them in Forza. So I built my perfect FB in Forza.
Just doing the best.
In Forza 4, it was a download pack for the FB. I bought it. You do the best you can when you're 17 and home alone with an Xbox. But yeah, and then Adam never wanted red, and there's too many reds. If you respray
so when you think of a car and the color red, what do you think of? Because the first car I think of red is a Ferrari.
I think of a C5 Corvette convertible.
Okay, well, we went two completely different directions there, so I can't finish my thought now.
What was your thought?
I think that Mazda made so many reds because at the time, you associated the color red with Ferrari, and everyone wants to have a sports car that's red. So I think that's why they made so many of them.
Well, think of Prince Little Red Corvette. That's what I always thought of. The Prince's song Little Red Corvette. My mom used to always play that when I was a kid and all that stuff.
It was a song.
Yeah.
At first I was like, where?
Oh, no. Prince had a song, Little Red Corvette. Okay, yeah.
I should just probably open the garage and leave that I didn't know that.
Yeah, you should get out of your own house, honestly.
Sorry.
No, but that's just where I always got it. But still, if you think a Corvette it still is a decently high-class vehicle.
My dad had a C5 in yellow, so that kind of further drew my decision to get this because that was his favorite car, and it had 600 horsepower, and he loved that car. And he actually got it was a Z06. He got rid of it to send me back to school. So yeah,
good father.
Kind of sad though because he still doesn't know I bought this. I sent him a picture of my engine. He's like, "What's that yellow car?" I'm like, "Oh, that's my friend's."
Really? Are we allowed to talk about that? You sent that text through thread in our group chat.
Listen, if my dad can find this on YouTube, I'll tip my hat and admit that I bought this.
So cool. We have a Rotary group chat. For those of you who probably don't know, we have a Rotary group chat. It's me, Adam, and Merv, and Steen, and all that stuff. And you sent the text messages between you and your dad. And your dad's like, "What's that yellow car?" And you're like, "Holding it for a friend." kids say when they like have a water gun or something.
Yeah, I told my dad I bought these new tool chests, and he was like, what about the one I gave you? And I was like, I'm never telling you anything again. So I'm just, yeah, so I've owned this since December, and he has no idea.
You got this in December?
I have. It took up until April for me to get the title for it.
Wow. I feel like it was more recent that you got this.
Nope. You just don't care enough to remember.
Yeah, no, I really... No, yeah, I mean, after riding in this thing, and it's insane. So talk about if you want to, talk about the mileage a little bit.
Yeah, so let's talk about the asterisk, I guess, as well.
Asterisk.
So I've done a lot of research on this car.
Right.
If you type in the VIN, it's going to pull up an Rx7 thread. And so what happened is that this car was in a front-end collision. Actually, let's go back even further. Before that, if you look, a lot of the odometers on the FD die.
Yeah.
For no reason. They just shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Bleep that out, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if you bleep that stuff out, but
it's
what happened was
it's fine.
It died. The guy took it to the dealership, and they logged, and they couldn't read the mileage, so they logged 50,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
The car had 4,000 miles.
Yeah.
So imagine the disappointment of that guy that his
babied it, garage kept it.
Vehicle history is now ruined.
Right.
So anyway, he put a new odometer in it, and that's why it says 4,000. So
right.
I add the two together, based on what the previous one said. I actually have the previous one up in my office.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't sent it out to fix it yet because it's like $300 to fix it, so I don't want to do it.
Where do you even send that to? Mazda?
There's a place in Florida that does it. It's really just replacing a capacitor and resoldering a couple of things, which I could do theoretically, but...
Do they just do FD cluster, or do you just send...
It's a lot of different clusters
okay.
they do.
Interesting.
But yeah, the guy took it there. They plugged in 50,000 as a part of their, checking it in thing, and that's what shows up, on the VIN search when you pull it up. So that's why there is a discrepancy. That's why, on the if you do a Carfax, it shows. It's actually hilarious. It says 3,000 miles, and then literally like a year later, it jumps to 50,000 miles.
There's no way that someone, unless you dailied it, road trip.
Drive,
I do about like 40,000 miles, and I drive a lot.
I drove 8,000 miles, and my truck is a daily, so that's a decent indication. But yeah, so that's the discrepancy. And then, so it went from that guy to someone else who, a body shop guy actually, it was a body shop guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was driving one day, and, it was hit. It was in a front-end collision. And the body shop guy, was like, okay,
yeah,
I'll just fix it myself. Didn't record it or anything. Probably his fault, to be honest. And you can tell if you look at a few of the fitments, like especially on this fender, you can see up there that it's a little bit off compared to the other one. So I can tell it's in a front-end collision.
Okay.
And I can also tell it's been resprayed. But he fixed it.
Is the whole car resprayed?
The whole car has been resprayed.
Okay.
Which is why I was like, I can't tell if this is real CYM or not. Pretty sure it is, but it might not be. So yeah, he fixed it. Eventually, it went to a guy in Alabama who had it for a bit and then sold it, and it's been through a couple different people. Eventually, this guy in Massachusetts bought it. He's a car collector. He keeps cars. He has like 15 Supras.
Yeah, which is
Mark 4s, right? Yeah,
yeah.
So the expensive ones. All twin turbo, so all the super nice ones.
Yeah.
And he bought this car as something to set on, something to appreciate value and sell later. However, when he got it, he VIN searched it and saw all this information. Was like,
wonky.
This isn't a collector's car.
Yeah.
Sad for him, bad for him, perfect for me because I'm not keeping this to collect it. I'm keeping it because I love rotaries and this is my favorite color and this is the car I wanted. So he listed it on Facebook in that group, and within the first 5 minutes, I saw it because I had been searching for a year. I just keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
And I missed a couple. I missed a one owner R1 in red.
Okay.
I was gonna repaint it because red's not my color, but 80,000 miles, and I missed it for 17,000. Really good price, really.
Yeah. For FDs now, that's under 20 is.
So when this one came up at 25, I was like, okay, I'll pay it if I have to. Right. And Cheyenne was asleep in the bedroom, and I just left her. I went to my office to talk to this guy, and I'm like, well, he's like, I'm at 25. Here's what's up with it. Here's all the information I have because he did his research too. I actually have a book of the research this guy did on it in my office, and I was like, well, I'm at 21 because I'm poor. He's like, you know, how about we kind of meet in the middle or something? We do 22.5, and I'm like, done. Sent him the deposit for 500. You know, then went to Lightstream and got a loan. Really weird. They didn't require me to put them on the title, so I got a loan for the car, but I fully own it, which is weird. I still pay them obviously because I feel like that's the right thing to do. Like I can probably get in a lot of financial trouble if I don't. But
yeah, no, definitely.
But no, they're not on the title at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a very interesting scenario because my friend who bought another car that took out much less than me had to put them on the title. I'm not going to complain, but kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what happened was I had a guy go pick up the car, or company, I scheduled them to pick up the car. And the day of, he's like, I can't find the title. And at the same time, my check, or my wire deposit hadn't cleared either. But, you know, we kind of both had faith in one another that we would resolve this. And he sent the car, you know, with my money not having cleared. And I received the car without having a title.
Interesting. Okay.
So, but what stemmed from that was he still couldn't find the title for like the next 3 months. So eventually he's like, hey, I got this plan. I'm like, well, what?
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, well, we can use the Vermont method. And I had already looked into it because I was researching to do it myself, you know, like, I'm not going to send this back. Because at a time he was like, well, I don't know what to do. Just, you know, send it back and refund you. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, I'll turn this into a track car before I get rid of this.
Yeah.
And so he went through Vermont, and you can register any car in Vermont, regardless of title, because Vermont cars over 15 years of age don't require a title. You just register it.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know
so
that.
So this is kind of a loophole to get your car registered if you don't have a title if it's over 15 years. So you don't even have to live in Vermont. You can just send it in and get your car registered in Vermont. So that's what he did. He then sent it to me, and I took it to the DMV and got a title because Vermont is not a title state. However, Missouri is. So you go to the DMV and you're like, hey, I bought this car. They don't require a title. Here's the registration. And they're like, okay, we'll apply for a title.
Then they give you a title.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is how I finally got a title for this car. It is in my name. It is Missouri. It is clean. We're good.
That's such a pain.
But yeah, it took an extremely long time, and I was frustrated. I'm like, do I take this guy to court? I'm like, what do I do? And you know, eventually he finally came through. And
he seems like a pretty stand-up guy through the whole thing.
I tell you what, it restored my faith in humanity for sure. Like it definitely made me, you know, like rethink and.
I mean, he did put the car on a trailer without even getting paid yet.
He did.
Which is kind of insane. But then
but after so long, you begin to think like, well, you know, is this guy like fooling me around? So I actually started the process to do it myself, and around the time or like the day after I sent it, he's like, I got the registration in, so I like quickly had to like cancel my check.
Just kidding.
Yeah, like it was bad, but yeah, we're good to go. Second mistake though, I applied for a non-historic plate.
Oh yeah.
And so now I'm getting my actual customized plate in August.
Which is?
CYM.
That's so sick. That's so cool. It just CYM. Because the reason I keep saying that is like, in Illinois, 3 letters, that's like, I don't think I've ever seen just 3 letters.
I was actually pretty salty because I wanted to get FC3S for the white RX-7.
Yeah.
And then FD3S for this one. And I know both people that have those.
Really?
Yeah. A guy named Ken, he has a really nice T2. He owns FC3S, and then actually a local friend of mine owns FD3S. But before that, I have Ryosuke on this one.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get Kesuke on this one. And probably some 97 Corollas rolling around with Kesuke. I don't know. It was already taken. I was pretty upset.
Yeah. But CYM, that's killer.
I am happy. Yeah, I'm really happy I got that one. I do know someone else that has it, but he's quite a states away, so I'm not too upset about it.
You should have it by Mazda Midwest.
Yeah, I plan on.
Okay, because that'll be cool to have at the show.
I think so.
Honestly, I think that would tie everything together. But what wheels are these?
So these are BBS RGRs.
Okay.
And they're kind of my dream wheel for this. You know Ryan Berg?
Yes.
So he has
been on the podcast before. Self-plug.
Nice plug. Make sure you control F that later.
Wow.
IT bro. So in Japan for the 96 RZs, or 96 and up RZs, they collaborated with BBS to release these same wheels.
Right.
Only they're in, I think 17 by 7.5 or 17 by 8.5, one of the two. And they have Mazda caps, and they look really nice. Unfortunately, though, I didn't really want to take the time to find those. Like, I know finding a set like because Ryan has those on his Cosmo.
Right.
And finding a set like those are expensive and hard to find, and I have to wait a super long time. And at this time, I had already bought coilovers and everything to like finish what I wanted to. So I was like, well, I'll just find, some BBS RGRs, because they're the same thing. They don't make them anymore, so you're kind of stuck with what you get. So I found these, and they're 18 by 8.5 in the front and 18 by 9.5 in the rear.
That's pretty decent size.
Like an offset of 22, so it's okay. I'm running 235s in the front, 235/40, and 265/35 in the rear.
Not bad.
But I'm rubbing slightly on the front, so I'd like to fix that. But I think the only way to fix that is go with a slimmer tire, like maybe a 225, or fab the fender liners a bit. I don't know.
Have you rolled these yet or no?
Yeah, they've been rolled.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I've already planned. I mean, the paint cracked. I knew it would because it's been resprayed, but I do plan on having a lot of the paint defects that I found fixed when I go 99 spec on it.
You're big on like paint and corrections and stuff.
Yeah, no, I paint corrected the FC myself.
So what's that process like? Like, what is paint correcting?
So paint correcting is you either need a rotary tool or a DA, and then you use a compound and a polish. And a compound, think of it like, you're cutting into the clear coat, removing the surface defects. Okay. And then you use compound, which is a little bit harsher. You'll make a little more deeper cuts, and then you use a polish that goes and removes those cuts that you just made to make it like perfect. So yeah, it took a week, and I tell you what, the guys that do that for money, that's what they do.
That's
like,
their life.
Like, pay them to do it, because it's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't think they get paid enough for what they do.
Yeah. Because I remember in the group chat, you were always bugging Adam to paint correct.
I'm going to paint correct Adam's car. Adam, I'm going to paint correct your car.
I don't know if that thing's... I love Adam to death. I don't think that thing's salvageable. So it is salmon color.
The thing with the FC paint is it's single stage.
Yeah, all of it. Well, I thought that the red was not.
It is.
Okay, yeah, I was completely wrong, and that is not the first time.
That's why it turns that color.
Okay.
Right. If it had clear over it.
Oh, red was 3D. Like so some guy was trying to explain this to me at Pep Boys or something. All the paint is like there's basically like little chunks in it. It's like flat, but the red had like prisms in it. Yeah, I know.
Probably should ask your body shop friend and not the guy at Pep Boys.
Yeah, it's true. But that's why red rubs off? I don't know. Just...
No, it rubs off because it's single stage.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I put my DA on his paint, my pad's going to be red after the first 30 minutes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because there's no clear over it to, like...
That's a nice thing is my car was resprayed in 08. So it's all... was it dual stage or double stage? Or?
Dual. There's.
It's red and then clear.
A lot of them's dual. Yeah,
But the sunroof they didn't spray. At the time, the guy had a GSLSE glass sunroof, and he was surprised. He's like, "You don't have a glass sunroof?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "When I sold the car, it had a glass sunroof." So the guy in between us must have taken the glass sunroof and sold it separately. Jerk. But so whenever I wax and clean the car, my towel is fine until I get to the sunroof, and then it's like bright red. It's still, because it's still single stage on the sunroof. So we must have gotten just a matching sunroof to toss in there, which I need to. It's a little bit of Bondo on it that makes me mad, but.
Hey, see, projects are never done.
I know. We were talking about this before the podcast. My car will never be done, but neither will anyone else's. We're always progressing. Speaking of which.
Pause.
We're back!
Shit.
Cut
this later. All right.
Don't you love just a refreshing Coca-Cola with nothing added to it?
He's 21, ladies and gentlemen. I promise.
You don't have to be 21 to just enjoy regular Coca-Cola with nothing added to it.
What did you say? I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, that's my, my whole family, they have heart disease past 60, so I'm thinking, build a 3-rotor and I'm done,
I mean, if you're not going hard in the paint, are you even going? That's what I'm
No,
saying.
that's the thing. I go hard and fast quick at the beginning and then just coast to the end,
Jesus.
So this white thing that I'm sitting in front of.
My child.
Yes. Contrary to, I think, most weebs online, you actually like the FC better.
Yeah, no, I do. And honestly, most Initial D fans would probably say they like the FC better because Ryosuke is that edgy guy that everyone likes. But
it's neither here nor there.
It's all right. You can cut that too.
Oh, please. I'm not doing that much editing.
But yeah, so this one is actually the best story. And I'll give you links to both these build threads so you can have them both.
Which we will talk about in a second after we talk about the FC. I want to talk about your build threads.
Okay.
Not critique them. Maybe critique them.
I mean, you can spell check them if you want. They were done in Google Docs, but it's okay. So the FC, it's been a long journey with this car, And
when did you get it? I mean, how long have you had it?
So my friend, so I fell enamored with Initial D back when I went to Southern Illinois Carbondale.
Shout out, Wildcats? What are you?
Oh my God, Salukis. Please don't Google them. They're the ugliest dog you'll ever see.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. It's some weird dog.
Yeah, it's ugly too.
Oh, God.
Anyone that says those dogs, like, someone breeds them there, I'm like, what are you doing too? Like, those dogs are hideous. Anyway, I made friends with the local car scene, but at the time I didn't know anything.
Right.
I knew nothing about cars. I had an 04 STI. Before that, I had a 650 horsepower Cobra. My dad was kind of the person that we'd always pay people to do stuff for us. But when I moved, out, like, I was a poor college kid. I didn't have any money, so
right.
I made some friends. We had a lot of garage hangs, which unfortunately doesn't really happen here. So that's what I miss the most. And I know it doesn't really happen up there either, unless you go hang out with Adam.
Yeah, I mean, like, every time I hang out with Adam is a garage hang, but
basically.
He also lives an hour from me, so.
But yeah, so there was a time, like, I started out with my 04 STI.
Yeah.
And I was, me and my friend, he was teaching me how to do my first oil change. God, such a proud moment, right, to do your first oil change. So at the time, I knew nothing. I didn't even know how to change my own oil.
Yeah.
And he taught me, and we did a bunch of other stuff to the STI, like we installed gauges, we installed ARP studs. I'm still sorry about that, Jason, because that took 2 days. But
everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah. And then I watched Initial D, and the FC was my favorite car. Partly because the character was my favorite character, right? I made that connection that,
right.
The car was him and he was the car, and,
right.
And that's what I wanted. And my friend happened to have a white T2, and he was needing some money, and I wanted it really bad, and I messaged my girlfriend. I messaged my girlfriend, and I was like, hey, can me and my friend go in on this car? But I didn't have a friend that was giving me any money. It was just me. So I bought the car myself, and I eventually came clean to her, and I was like, yeah, I bought this myself. There was no friend involved.
Yeah. Was this your current girlfriend?
Yeah, we've been together for 6 years.
God bless. God bless.
Yeah, I mean, we hit a bump, for a bit, but we powered through it eventually, and here we are still today. But yeah, I've done that quite a bit, actually, telling her that, like, it's okay.
It's so long, yeah.
Now I just tell her I bought it. Like with this, it was funny, but
yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I bought an original T2 in white. It had been resprayed. Mm-hmm. The damn thing had holes in the floor pan that you could Flintstone the car. Like, it was. And eventually I was, I had all these, like, plans in mind. Like, I was going to do this, and this. And then,
right.
The more I looked at it, and the person I am, like, I'm not one to, like, half-ass something. I'm not one to, like, cheapen out. Or, if it's not going to be perfect, then I probably don't want it. So I made the hard decision of, I'm not going to use this car. I'm going to find another shell.
Right.
And this was, at the time, my friend, I only had a single garage apartment. I couldn't house a project.
Right.
But unfortunately, Ben and Jason, who were there when you were there.
Yeah, I met them. Yeah.
They let me store my cars at their house.
Good friends.
Amazing friends. Jason actually, the seats upstairs?
Yeah.
He drove 6 hours for me to pick those up.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Shout out Jason.
Yeah, shout out Jason for sure. But yeah, so they let me keep the car there, and then I was talking to Jason. I was like, I don't think this car's worth a damn.
Yeah.
I was like, the engine's there. Like I'll keep some stuff, but like this isn't gonna be what I wanted to. So then came the search. You don't, and at that point, I wanted it done. I didn't have a lot of time, and this is where I made some mistakes. This is where I settled. This is where I did things I didn't want to do really. But I found a clean S4 GXL from in Tennessee, and my good buddy Jason went with me. Another 12-hour adventure. I rented U-Haul, rented a trailer from U-Haul, $400 to go pick up $1,000 shell, but it was worth it because the shell is amazing. It was a really good shell. The pinch welds weren't flat then; they are now, unfortunately, because I suck. I learned throughout time, which I'm fixing them now, but.
Yeah.
But so brought it back, and that's really when the build kicked off. That's when I still had my vision. I wanted bride seats. I wanted a Mazda Speed steering wheel, Mazda Speed shift knob. Like my theme was Mazda Speed, and as you can see, I kind of did that really. But it took about 1.5 years to 2 years from a bare red shell to get to where we kind of are now, really.
Yeah. Did you have an engine in this shell or no?
So the engine came. I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot. The engine and the radiator and everything came from the original T2 that I had. That's the only thing I kept from that shell, aside from the spoiler and a couple of the body pieces that were salvageable. Yeah. Unfortunately, it had so much surface rust that it was unusable. It had a shitty paint job that they had so many layers on it. My body guy couldn't even cut through it all without having to spend a ridiculous amount of time. Right. So yeah, we used a lot of the parts from the new S4 shell, which fortunately had a T2 hood that we were able to use.
So have you driven this shell yet, or has this always been a project?
No, I've driven it. Okay. We finished it right when I went to intern for Boeing, actually. So we finished it in late 2015. Yeah, or in mid 2015. So yeah, I've been driving it for a while, and when I got it here. Was when I continued to drive it, but I took it to a local person to have it compression tested because I didn't know how at the time. I do now, obviously. It's super easy, but he compression tested it. The compression was low 60s. I'm surprised the damn thing ran. Yeah. But
not the best. Right. Although I've heard RX8s with worse. But
yeah, the Mega Squirt's what saved it though. It allowed me to keep driving it, and the worse hot starting it get, the more we could edit the tune to kind of tune that out. So I continue to drive it for another year and a half.
With not as much horsepower, but
I mean that's why I threw a bigger turbo on it. Oh, God. Yeah, so that was the joke, right? That's what I told people anyway. I sent my turbo off to B&R because it was throwing out oil and gas out the rear to be rebuilt. So that's why I did that. But yeah.
So what's I can't remember. I know I watched this engine get built. We built it at the shop.
So the engine didn't blow up initially. I pulled it running, and it was still running when I pulled it.
Is this a T2 engine then?
It is a T2 engine. Okay. So actually, everything on that engine is brand new. Brand new irons, brand new housings. We kept the rotors because no damage happened to them, and we kept the E-shaft because no damage happened to it. Right. But everything else is brand new. Even the bolts.
I know. I've said this to you multiple times in person. You're the most fanatical person about new hardware. I thought Adam was bad. Adam, every time a bolt I picked up was not going in perfectly, he's like, put this one in. And so he had a box of brand new ones. I was like, okay, if a bolt looks at you weird, it gets replaced.
Yeah, and I would even like to change the bolts that go all the way through the keg, but those would be super expensive and not worth it.
Right.
But yeah, every single bolt
on the next build, maybe.
Yeah, maybe when I'm super rich, but yeah. But yeah, every bolt besides those have been replaced.
That's crazy. That's insane. But like you've said multiple times, you do it right the first time, so you don't have to do it again.
I know sometimes that doesn't happen with rotaries, but yeah, that's the plan.
That's the goal, at least. Let's be fair, that's the goal. So we talked about it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The forum posts. I think it's really interesting that, like, I think we do a similar thing, except I make videos. Like, I've always documented what I do to my car through videos. You're old school and do the forum posts.
Yeah, so kind of branching off from that, it's kind of funny, actually, because I've made a few videos, you know, with my gaming, I'm going to call it a career. It's not really a career.
Right.
But, you know, a couple gaming videos. And I always love doing it. I've streamed a couple times. That's okay. I'll buff that out later.
He's going to punch me after this podcast.
I've streamed a couple times, you know, and it was always interesting being in front of a camera, but it was never... I actually used to do photography too, but it always felt so uncomfortable. Like I have to warm up to something before I'm able to do it, warm up to people. And I love documenting stuff, you know, partly because I'm in IT and that's kind of what we do. Like we can't build, you know, an application without proper documentation, and it helps in a couple ways. It helps me, you know, look back and see just how far I've come.
Right.
But it also
That's what I've always loved.
But it also helps me in that, you know, if something were to happen to me, you know, or something like that, you know, my loved ones could be like, well, this is everything the car has on it.
Right.
You know, so that's another reason why I do it. But it's also a way for me to express myself too. Like I really love like showing what I'm doing and showing it off, and I've always looked at doing like the video route, but I don't want to get on camera and people realize I don't know what I'm doing. Like that's the problem. Like I figure things out as I go.
Right.
Like even with those frame rail reinforcements, like I was like, do I drill a hole here? I actually missed one of the drills, like drilling one of the holes, and I was off by quite a bit. And I'm like, man, if I was on video, I'd be looking like a pretty big idiot. So
yeah.
That's always my biggest fear is like people like looking at me and being like, wow, you know, you're dumb.
I've definitely had that, especially, you know, I started documenting my car as soon as I got it. And like I said, I got it, maybe 3 weeks after my 18th birthday. So, I mean, think of yourself as an 18-year-old. I was a really dumb 18-year-old. So there's a video, the second or third episode of Rotary Life. I go, hey guys, just got the carburetor off. I'm holding the air cleaner. There's a video on there. Please don't go searching for it. I'm holding the air cleaner. I'm like, the carburetor's on.
No, I think we all have stories like that. I had a Tiburon back in the day that had some sweet underglow on it that I'd always keep, you know, pink.
Adam's dream build.
Shut up. I tell you what, if you get him and Ben in the same room, they will talk about his Tiburon and Ben's Escort like in the same like sentence. Like it's just hilarious.
Well,
but we all start somewhere, like, and that's where they started.
Yeah, mine was a '98 Ram. That was my first car. 5.9 liter '98 Dodge Ram, 2-wheel drive. I thought I was the king of the world with a pickup truck.
Down.
I know. I put a Y-pipe exhaust cutout on it, so at the flip of a button, it would straight pipe itself, and I never had it closed. I would go to school straight piped. And I'd always, like, if I saw any type of Crown Vic, I'd quiet it up. It'd be like, whoosh, you know.
That's how I was with subs. Funny, different times, different...
Yeah. But, so when did you start documenting everything on the forums? Like, as soon as you got the car, or...?
No, so I had the T2 for a bit, and I had the shell for a bit, the new shell for a bit. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I decided to. Like, it was just, I looked at a couple build threads, a couple things that, you know, that was inspiration for me that really was like, oh my gosh, like, this is what I want my car to be like. And that's honestly, like, really when I do a build, that's kind of what it is. It's a bunch of people, different inspiration that makes my own inspiration. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what builds are for everyone, really. They just don't admit it. But, so that's why I did mine. And I wanted it to be, you know, of course, a documentation of what it's been through, but I mean, cut that out. But
I'm not doing any editing.
Shit, we're gonna have a long one. But I wanted it to be inspiration for people. You know, I wanted them to see everything I went through and see, you know, how I did things, the things I use, and I wanted it to really inspire them. And I've had a ton of people post on my thread and say how much of an inspiration this is. I don't know if you've ever seen like a before and after of it, but
I don't think I have. I'll have to go through.
It has come an incredibly long way.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't really realize it until you've documented and you look back that far because you forget.
Yeah.
Honestly, you forget.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I did it, because I didn't want to forget.
I have a bunch of old video of the 12A, and I mean, going back to like first screw ups, this was when I first blew the apex seal, right? And I get it home, and the car would still start. I drove it probably about 40 miles on a blown apex seal, which did no help to the housing. The housing looked like, I mean, you know, confetti went off in there. But there's a video of me starting it, and I go, I think it's the intake. It seems like it's not getting enough fuel.
I would probably delete that video if I were you when I get home.
No. You know, because, but like you said, I mean, I've had people come up to me and they're like, hey, like, I never thought FBs were cool until I saw yours, or like, you know, I didn't realize you can actually, like, FBs are like, you know, worth a darn to work on, you know?
That's the thing, and there's a lot of new car enthusiasts out there that are, you know, where we were, and they don't have a full idea what they're doing. You know, they're trying to do things, they're rushing through things, they're installing a spoiler and hacking up the trunk to get it on.
Not to say that I know what I'm doing at all, but I've picked up a lot of stuff through osmosis and being around it more, but like, I also don't ever want to say that I'm an expert, because I'm definitely not, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah, and to kind of go off the beaten path that we're taking now for a bit, I think that what's wrong with the car scene is that we look down on those people and we make fun of them. We're like, why would you do that, instead of reaching out and helping them?
Yeah.
You know, I have 2 friends that help me with stuff, but, you know, by them helping me, they're also gaining a lot of knowledge too. And I let people come here and use my garage and my tools, and I'll help them do stuff. And it's to really, you know, teach, to let them have friends that I had.
Yeah.
You know, because I wouldn't be where I am without, you know, the people that I know. So I try and be that for them too. And I think
you know exactly who I'm thinking of right now.
I mean, we can talk about Adam all night. But
this has turned into like the Adam Loveline podcast.
No, Adam.
I mean, like Adam. I always say we. Adam built your motor. I sat in a swivel chair and I watched, and I left to get a hamburger at one point.
He let me turn a few bolts around. You know, yeah. And honestly, I told Adam, it's not efficient for me to come up north every time I get an engine rebuilt. So one of the reasons why I took it up there, and I watched him build the whole thing, was so, you know, when this one goes or that one goes again, I can do it myself.
Right.
You know, and I'm pretty confident that, you know, maybe the first time we might screw something up, but the second time it would be good. So that's why I did it.
I watched him build yours, and I watched him build Matt's, and I'm gonna watch him build Merv's, and like literally every time I learned something new. Like,
we're just going down the chain.
I don't know. Is Eddie gonna need an engine? Is Tony gonna need an engine?
Probably. Tony needs a lot of stuff.
Tony needs so much help.
I hope Tony doesn't watch this.
I hope Tony does watch this. Finish your Volkswagen, Tony, wherever you are. Also, Tony, call me. We need to talk about some stuff. But no, I mean, like, it's just like that's the thing. If Adam like came over to my house the one night, literally, I don't know if you know how I met Adam.
Nope.
I posted on the Rx7 Facebook page. I said, I need help getting an engine in if anyone's available. I was desperate. I spent 2 whole days trying to get this engine in. I didn't know what to do. The biggest thing I'd ever done on a car was the spark plug wires. That's the biggest thing I'd ever done on a car before I tried sliding a 13B into my 12A chassis. And so I put in the Facebook group. He came out 40 minutes later, like, no questions asked.
Yep.
And if he would have just said, oh, this kid doesn't know anything at all. I used paper gaskets and RTV because I thought the RTV was to stick the gasket to the metal.
I mean, we're just doing the best we can.
like literally, again, going back to if I could boil down my RX-7 to one sentence, I'm just doing the best. I'm just trying my best here. But if he would have said, like, oh, this kid's dumb and left me alone, that car would have been either scrapped or sold. I mean, it's probably worth scrap value, but, you know, like, it wouldn't be on the road. I think if he did the same to you, I mean, you would probably be at least a couple steps behind. And I like that point that you're making about how we have to kind of help out when we can and just not be so quick to judge.
Yep.
Although if you do have a stock Chevy Sonic and you show up to the Car Meets Revving, we are going to hate you and we will not help you. Because you should go home.
That's pretty accurate, actually, yeah.
But, like, I think also if you're 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever it may be, because I do get a lot of young viewers on the channel, I think just be open to learning. That, like, reading a forum post, I mean, honestly, will not teach you every single thing. It's a great jumping off point. Definitely, if you're looking into getting into RX7s, definitely read Colten's posts, read his forum posts, watch my videos, text Adam.
At the same time, too, like, I know when you post something, like, on Facebook or, you know, in a car group, they are pretty harsh. But most of the time, they're still telling you the truth.
Right.
Like, if you throw a glass pack on an RX-7, like, and they say, hey, this shit's gonna melt, it's gonna melt.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if they're an ass about it, like, it's still gonna happen.
Like, hey, dumb idiot, it's gonna melt. F.
I mean, accurate. Edit that out. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I mean, like, I think it's important to take everything with a grain of salt, but also just be open to learning and be open to teaching, I guess is the biggest thing. I don't know how this turned into a TED Talk.
No, I mean, that's fine. It's a Boeing culture. But yeah, no, I see a lot of people hound a lot of people online. And this doesn't have to go in your video, but yeah, I
think it's important.
It's disheartening for me because, like, if I didn't have the help I had at the time I had it, I wouldn't have either of these cars.
Right. And I think another important thing to mention about you is that yes, I think you got inspired by Initial D, but I would not say that's the core running reason you have these two cars.
Correct.
Because I think a lot of people might think, oh, he's just a weeb. Oh, he just, got the Initial D cars. Which, like, yes, you do have the Initial D cars, which is awesome, but you also have a genuine interest in fixing them, driving them, the rotary engine itself. You're not like, what, you can go to a meet and ask. Like, I've been asking you literally all night about your FD, and, like, you can answer everything. And it's not just like, we saw it in a movie, so I drive it. You know what I mean?
Because of forums. Join forums, they still exist.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it started as a love for cars, blossomed into a love for Initial D, which blossomed into a love for the FC, which then blossomed into a love for the rotary engine.
Yeah.
And that's why I have an FD. I'd love to get an FB too. I know I was telling you, like, I'd love to, like, have, a Wang & Wing, fender flares, fog lights in the front, a Wangan-inspired FB.
How do you feel about the inverted hatches on the FBs? Have you seen those?
Is that where they, like, go down but it's still, like...
So, like, it gives you a rear window, like, straight down from the rear hatch, and then it, like...
I mean, if I wanted a Ute, I'd move to Britain.
Yeah, that's true. I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, you'll have to. I think a Ute is like a truck in Britain. I hope. I watched Top Gear one. No, I'm just kidding.
What about louvers?
I like them. Honestly, yeah. If I could pull it off on the FC, I would, but that's not what I'm going for. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they especially look good on the older, like the FB.
Yeah.
And some FCs pull them off really well too.
I don't know. I'm back and forth on the louvers. I think louvers look kind of weird when I don't have any other style mods. So, like, I don't have fender flares. I don't have a front lip. I don't have side skirts. I don't know. I just feel like it looks like my car is wearing a backpack when there's just the rear louvers on the back. No?
That's fine.
Yeah? Okay, well.
No.
Granted, I did walk around your house for about a half hour with just my backpack on.
You did, so it's fitting.
Not just my backpack on. I also have clothes on. That should be put out there. But it gets to...
That's it's a GoPro, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Hero 6 or 5 or 6. It does 4K. In bright light, it's an amazing quality. But as soon as it starts to get dim, literally GoPro just,
I've always wanted one, but, it's just like, there's always other things that I want to.
Yeah, it's true. But no, getting back to it, I had a rough go with, we'll just cut this back in. I'm okay talking about this. So I started making videos when I was in 5th grade, like actually posting YouTube videos.
That's impressive.
They were bad. And actually, I brought the camera I used to film with. It was on high 8 tapes. And I would convert it through a FireWire cable into my computer and then convert it and post them. I mean, like, literally, I have the tape camera here. Like, it was a process. And then I got and then I got a flip video camera and all this stuff. But I remember it must have been 7th or 8th grade when Halo 4 came out. No, Halo 4 was announced right? And really big at the time was reaction videos. Yeah, I don't know. You probably remember this
so
era.
Popular
where
now,
like,
yeah.
yeah, but this was like the start of it. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get me and my friend Cooper. You can Google this if you want. I mean, you can look it up. It's still on YouTube. I never took it down. Halo 4 reaction video. It's me and my friend Cooper. I think it's 7th or 8th grade, and we're watching the Halo 4 trailer. And I spliced it in the lower third so you could see what we're seeing. You know, it was decent production quality. We're like freaking out because we were excited about this video game, right? In the 8th grade. I got 4 comments to kill myself. Like, legitimate kill myself. So many people calling me a dumb, stupid virgin, which I was like, I'm in 8th grade. You know?
What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
You know,
do the best I can.
Like, there was just like, I mean, so many fat jokes, just horrible things. I mean, you can go through the comments. It's like the meanest things that anyone has ever said to me. And I think from that point on, I really struggled with that. I was like, oh, like, I've never had people be mean to me through the internet. But after that, I'm like, I don't really care anymore. Like, it kind of, like, thickened up my skin, like, ASAP. Because I was like, oh, like, that's the worst it can be. And nothing ever came of that.
Yeah,
I obviously didn't kill myself. They obviously didn't come and kill me. Nothing changed. So I understand why, you know, people don't like being on camera and stuff. And it's hard. I mean, it's hard to deal with criticism. Mm-hmm. And I get criticism. Like, I finally turned off comments on my phone. I used to get like an alert. Like, it looked like a text message.
Oh, that can be excessive too.
Every time I got a comment. So I remember I was out with my girlfriend down at school, and we were getting lunch, and I just looked at my phone, and, you know, we were just checking lunch, and it just said, oh, kill yourself, fatty. And I was like, I was like, it didn't ruin my day at all, but I was like, I don't need that negativity just getting texted to my phone. Mm-hmm. So I think that was a big move. But, like, it's just something you gotta sort of deal with. And, you know, I hope if you do make videos, I hope that you get jaded enough to, you know, to not care, because it's going to be negative. But you're just.
I think it kind of leans on how comfortable you are with yourself too. Like, had you not been comfortable, like who you are, you know, what you're about, what you're producing, then I think it would have affected you on a much higher, you know, value than what it did.
Yeah, I think I definitely wavered for a little bit, but, you know, my whole thing with videos, and we don't have to get too into it, but my whole thing with videos is, like, I've always produced videos that I've wanted to see. Like, I've always, like, thought, like, you know, there's no, like, I've always wanted to see a good informational video about Rx7s. So that was the video that I made. And, like, I've always felt comfortable with my stuff, so I'm like, if you don't like it, it's not for you. Go home, you know? I'm sure you already are home, but essentially, like, yeah. And I also learned to stop replying to comments because nothing good ever came of that. I remember I replied something really, really mean to a guy because he was super mean to me, and I was like, I felt horrible about it. I went back, deleted it. I think I privatized the video. Jeez. So it's just like, I was in such a fit of rage. This is like right when I started that, like, yeah. But, so CYMFDs. Why do we love them?
Good transition.
Because aren't I so good at segues? This is getting off that horribly dark topic of mean people online. But yeah, so definitely I'm interested to see. I've gone through your thread. I haven't read every single post.
It's okay. The pictures are what's important.
I remember what I was going to ask you about that. So you've gone on the Facebook pages and stuff for Rx7. There's literally one called Rx7. There's like, I'm sure there's FD3S owners, FC3S. There's quite a few. Which, side note, why is it FD3S and FC3S?
That's just the chassis code.
Because I know FB3S, well, I thought at least FB3S was FB 3rd series. That's what I thought it was. But then an FC would be Series 4 and 5.
So the chassis code for the FC is FC3S, and the chassis code for the FD is FD3S. They didn't change those throughout, you know, even though the FC had a Series 4 and a Series 5, they didn't change that. It's still the chassis code.
Okay. I got that totally wrong.
I have
Not the first time even in this podcast I've been wrong.
I have no idea what the FB one is, though. I know that
It's FB3S.
Is it?
Yeah. The first 2 years were SA22.
The RX8 has a weird one, even though quite a few people call it an FE3S, even though it doesn't actually have that code.
Hey, if you do that, no.
RX8 owners.
It's not an FE. It's not an FE. Yeah. Oh, so I totally spaced out for 3 seconds.
It's okay, we had a good talk.
So what are the differences you see between the Facebook pages and the forum posts?
So the reason why I appreciate the forums for what they are is because I've been on them forever.
Yeah.
Forums have been like,
it's old hat at this point, you know.
It is, and I think that there's a cutoff where like you know what a forum is and you go to it versus you go to Facebook. But that's a different discussion. Now we could talk about that forever. But the reason why I like forums is all the information on it is constant.
Right.
It's not going to go away unless the forum, of course, goes away, which
that's
has
a good
happened.
Point.
Which has happened in a couple of places. It's a lot easier to search. It shows up on Google searches. Where the Facebook groups, someone asks a good question, and you see it,
and it gets buried.
Yeah, if you don't save it, it goes away. I know that I've saved a couple Facebook posts with a snippet tool, but
that's interesting. I never considered that. Forum posts definitely stick around, and they move down and
they do, but there's still
you can still search it.
You can still search it, and Google search obviously is primarily what I use to find information for these cars.
Right.
Even though the VB forum search is still pretty bad, so Google is still.
Does anyone use Bing?
Bing?
Yeah. Has anyone? What
does it exist?
I mean, it exists. Does anyone still use it? Have you ever Binged something?
When was the last time you used Yahoo? What about Ask Jeeves?
You know what? I've never used Ask Jeeves. That's how young I am. I'm so young.
I'm so sorry.
Oh God.
I'm really glad you know what it is, though. Honestly.
I don't know if I fully know what it is.
The new one that people are using is called DuckDuckGo, and
that's not true.
They don't cache what you search, so everything you search is not,
They say that. They're not keeping any track of it at all.
Nope. I don't use it. I use Google because whatever.
DuckDuckGo.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
DuckDuckGo. If you'd like to sponsor a podcast, write me an email.
DuckDuckGo and use incognito tab.
Oh, that's a Google Chrome incognito. I'm like, why would they have an incognito as DuckDuckGo? But it's something. Let's talk about other things that I'm too young to understand. Never had a MySpace page.
Oh God, I did.
Never. I don't even know the color of Friendster. What was it? Green or something?
I never used Friendster.
Friendster. Okay. Well.
MySpace though, let me tell you what. You could add your music to your profile and it was dope.
Okay, how would that? Would you upload an MP3 or would you pick?
So all the bands had their music on there, and you could just select your favorite song, and it would play on your profile.
So I couldn't have like an Rx7 starting up.
I mean, if you really, you could create your own band page and put that up there and select it.
Could you? You know what? I'm having a sweet brainwave. About 10 years too late. If I had I would make a MySpace band of all sound bites. Of like, hey, you're ugly. So then when you go to your page, it's like, hey, you're ugly. You know what I mean?
You know how you have like a top 10 on MySpace, your top 10 friends?
I do now. You could have your top 10 friends?
You could, and it
created... Oh, that started beef, huh?
But, so, where I was going with that was,
10.
if you use those sound bites, you probably wouldn't have anyone in your top 10 because you wouldn't have any friends.
So with top 10, did you have to be in the other person's top 10?
No, it was your own.
I'll have you in my top 10, but you don't have me in yours?
It created a lot of like political bargaining with your friends.
It was square up.
It was hilarious. Those were the golden era of social networks.
Ugh. I was never allowed to have an AIM account. Wasn't allowed to.
Oh God, I had that. I had an MSN Messenger. I had an ICQ.
ICQ.
See, you don't even know what that is.
Was that a health thing?
So ICQ back in the day was the first really social messaging boards. There might have even been for that, but when I jumped on, ICQ was the first one.
Jeez, I don't even know. Never had a Hotmail.
You're making me feel super old.
I know, that's my goal here.
I was born in 1990. I feel really bad right now.
97, baby. Last year, the NA.
I'm talking to a small child. Perfect.
They never manufactured NAs while I was alive. Coincidence? Look into it. Conspiracy. As soon as I was born, they're like, NBs. There's no connection there. What else is old that I didn't have? A Tamagotchi. Never had one of those.
Oh, so those actually originated as like Digimon.
Oh,
Yeah.
never had those. Never played a Pokemon game. Except I played Pokemon Red on an emulator on my computer for a day and a half. I didn't get very far.
Listen, just unsub this game right now.
Oh.
You probably should cut that. If you say you never...
Why do I need to cut that? I'm not ashamed of that. I'll scream it from the rooftops. I've never played Pokemon except for Pokemon Red on an emulator on my iMac.
Oh my gosh.
How's that? Is that the most infuriating sentence you've heard all day?
Yeah. For sure. For sure. And my car was called like a C5 today, so yeah, that was pretty infuriating.
My goodness, that's...
In jest.
You're really mad. Wow. You're really upset by this.
But RX7s.
Right, we're getting way off topic.
Yeah,
I just want to make you feel old.
I mean, you'll probably cut a lot of this eventually, but...
I'm not cutting literally any of this. I am cutting parts of it.
Okay, good.
That we agreed upon.
Damn it.
What if I post this video? It's 8 minutes long.
Like,
so the forum post, thank you guys so much for watching. Just cut. Would you be mad?
No.
Maybe I'll make an Adam supercut, and every time we mention Adam, it'll be like a good compilation of...
Are we drinking like a drinking game where like Adam's brought up, you drink? Like, because that would be...
No, but Harbor Freight, that is our drinking game, is Harbor Freight.
If you came here like a couple months ago, like, we'd drink every 5 seconds.
My glass is empty, but...
Just Coke, clearly. Nothing additive. No additives.
Right. My Coca-Cola vanilla is empty. Good night.
There goes a sight from my soul.